Gonna wait for some people to join. We're gonna get started. We're talking about this upcoming winter storm system for Wednesday. Let's see what we got here. Anybody joining? Okay, I got a couple people. Gonna wait for a few more people to join over the next 15 seconds, and I'm gonna go ahead and start talking. I'll go and kick things off for us before Chief Meteorologist Ashley Brown joins in with you guys on talking about Wednesday's winter storm. Of course, upgraded the warnings this morning. Let's see if we can get a few more people in here. Three viewers. I'll go ahead and start talking. Maybe Facebook might be a little bit slow on showing who's joining in, but let's do it. So as you guys are tuning in, I'm Storm Track 8 meteorologist Steven Deanna. I'm the Weather Digital producer here. Usually, a lot of the time when Ashley's on shift and we do these Facebook Lives, I usually start things off, so that's why you're seeing my face first. The Chief Meteorologist Ashley Brown will be joining you shortly. Zach, I hope we get 8 inches in Zionsville. Well, I'll get to that later. For those going to ask snow totals first, we'll get to that later in this as well. And why there's some uncertainties with it and whatnot. We'll break it down in this video. So to start things off, there are winter storm warnings across basically all of central Indiana in that pink shade you see through Illinois, through central Indiana to Fort Wayne. Winter weather advisories are in effect for the rest of the state, but these winter alerts are in place from 1 a.m. Wednesday morning to 7 p.m. Wednesday evening. Of course, we're tracking the potential for an impactful, basically we're expecting an impactful winter system to move through, which will lead way to a pretty dicey Wednesday with travel. So let's kind of go ahead and break down timing on things right now. Well, before I actually do that, let's kind of show what's going on right now. It's important to note the entire state is quiet. There is nothing happening statewide. But off to our southwest, you can see the beginnings of this system moving in. As a matter of fact, we're already seeing the beginnings of this system as well. Cloud cover has thickened over the area the last couple of hours. That's a signal that the moisture is arriving. It's starting to arrive a little bit. We'll build it up over the next few hours. This precip is associated with a much stronger system producing severe weather down south. There's even been tornadoes in your Houston, Texas today, which is ridiculous. Or should I say crazy? But around here, though, we're tracking the cold side of this system. So let's get into timing right now. And this is going to be moving northeast. General directions northeast with this as well. And quick before I go through this, let me make sure that there's not many people tuning in. So I want to make sure that people are, I want to make sure we have more than just one viewer as well, because there's not many people that are viewing this, but I'm going to keep going. So practically, actually, let me do this. I'll share this on the Storm Track 8 page as well. So as I'm doing that, let me drag to the timeline for you guys. So let's go to 9 o'clock tonight. You can see the precip start to funnel into the state. We will start with mostly rain. There could be some mixed precip involved with it. That will gradually transition over to all snow. One important thing to know, there were some locations today that are warmer than expected. So here in Indy, for instance, we hit 44 for the high. That will probably play into a role with our snow totals here as well. So got to keep that in mind throughout tonight. But we're going to see a transition to snow basically after midnight. By 2-3 a.m. much of the state is going to have all snow. And at this point, it is important to mention that the snow will be heavy at times. Snowfall rates will be up to 1 inch per hour, which will reduce visibilities greatly. So, of course, you got to have an early morning commute through, say, like 4 or 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. Just know that roads are going to become slick. They're going to become more messy. So that takes us closer to daybreak, and we're going to see as we get closer to daybreak that freezing lines start to punch in, basically. How far north this travels. Most models have been having this move up close to Interstate 70 or right up on Interstate 70. And that's where, of course, southern Indiana is going to have less snow, but mainly areas north of Interstate 70 is going to have a longer duration of some snowfall. So you can see that mixed precip line there through mainly central Indiana at daybreak. Again, travel is going to be pretty dicey. You're going to want to take it slow out there on the roads. Crews will probably not be able to keep up with clearing the roads as well. Ashley made a great point about that earlier, because with how quickly things are developing through the morning commute, It's going to be a little bit on the treacherous side, but this is nothing, of course, like panic and freak out about. Of course, we can handle like a few inches, but it's the timing of it, being able to maneuver around it. And I believe Ashley's going to hop in here now to continue discussion.
All right.
Discussing.
Okay. Hello, everyone. You've been chatting with Stephen Deanna. He is our digital meteorologist. He's excellent at kind of helping out with these snowfall events and, of course, helping us get through them. As you know, sometimes they take more than one forecaster. I hope you guys are doing well. We're going to chat with you tonight about tonight's system and what you can expect. If you have any questions, please ask here. Once again, never here to scare you, just here to inform you about what's going on. Right now, of course, it's quiet. Today we had a nice warm day. I'm going to take you back and kind of just show you where we are. We'll talk about how we get to where we are right now. So let me throw in some graphics here. Just maybe a camera. Let's do a Speedway camera. If I can drag and drop correctly. And we're going to go over snowfall totals. Zach, how you doing? Zach said he hopes we get 8 inches. Zach, I hope we don't get 8 inches, right? That's a huge amount. Although it will be a fun snow day, that cleaning that up will be on the difficult side. All right, so I'm going to do that. I want to get current conditions for you and talk about where we are right now. Let's do that with a map of current, because I don't even know what our temperature drop was this last hour. We did see numbers drop off a little bit. Map. Currents. Let's go with state. Current temps. There we go. This is important. So today we were a little warmer than expected. We're holding steady right now in the 40s. We've been here all day long. If you're just tuning in, how you doing? I'm Chief Meteorologist Ashley Brown. I'm the meteorologist here at Wish TV. And we're just going to go over what we're expecting as far as snowfall, what we can expect for your morning commute, of course, and maybe your job has already decided to delay or cancel, work or school for your kids. Not shocking with this event because it's already sitting out there. If I show you radar right now, because I had some people asking, will we actually see this event? Well, there it is right there. If you look to our south, you can see south of St. Louis, Oklahoma City, Wichita, Memphis, all the way down into parts of Texas earlier, now moving into Louisiana. You see kind of this very messy system there, and that's the messy system moving our way, bringing rain, snow, wintry mix. I mean, we'll have it all with this system. And like I said, I don't think this is the biggest snow event ever, but I think it's one that's quite impactful because of the timing, it happening during the morning commute. While you're trying to travel out and get to work or school. So that's why I think we'll see all the delays. That's why we'll see the issues, all right? Let's dive into... And can you guys hear me okay? Sometimes we have audio issues with these.
Tara did a video last Thursday and it didn't seem to be too bad.
Okay, so audio seems to be good.
Sound was there, but it's not as loud as the last few times, but she got to a manageable level.
Okay. 1 second here. Let me get... Do we have this up? Do you have it up on with the comments on your page?
Yeah, let's see.
I don't know, the comments are loading over here, so I want to make sure that we got them up. All right, so this snow event coming our way as we move forward in the forecast. We'll see a rain transition to snow. Right now we're at 41 degrees. That's part of the problem. We had a warmer day than expected. As a result, we're going to have a warmer night. That means it takes longer for rain to transition to snow. It's going to be a slow process for us tonight as we start that transition. Earlier today, very early, we've been waiting on this all day yesterday. We talked about it. The winter storm watch was broken down into a winter storm warning and a winter weather advisory. Areas in central Indiana, including Kokomo, Indianapolis, down into Richmond, Terre Haute, all included in the warning. This is the area that will see the most impact, which means we'll see more in the way of travel issues here. We'll see more in the way of kind of snow-covered and slick roads here. Areas in the purple, areas expecting less snow. Radar is quiet for now, but we can obviously see that system sitting off to our south and west moving our way. Let's talk about when it arrives for us and the temperature trend we're expecting when it arrives. As we go hour by hour here, this model indicating that we could see some very light rain tonight by about 10 p.m., right? But this is going to run into some drier air. So some of this is what we call virga, which means that it's raining in the upper layers of the atmosphere but not falling to the ground. And that's happening because the air mass is a bit drier overall. I'm going to grab my phone so I can actually read your comments better.
I'm not sure what's happening, but it's like I was looking through and it's not like there's many viewers. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, it might be some audio.
I
Make sure we don't have audio issues here. So yeah, so we're going to see rain initially move into the area. That rain will transition to snow. Let me look at it here. Oh, 1 second. Let me make sure I can read what you're saying. All right, there we go. I have that up so I can actually read you.
Well,
rain will transition to snow. And how this happens is, you see this 10 p.m. rain arriving, and you see the transition to some. What's wrong? Anything?
I'm gonna check this out. I literally went in there and.
Is there audio issues?
I mean, I unmuted this mic and aux thing. Try this.
Can you guys hear us there? Please let me know if you can hear us.
My phone cannot be going crazy because I have the volume. We got more people watching now.
No.
I don't know what's happening.
All right, so we're going to see the transition to snow, I think, by about 2-3 a.m. During this time period, we're going to get in on, I think, the heaviest of the snow. It's while you're sleeping, right? So it's 2, 3, 4 a.m. It continues to come down pretty heavy and steady at our heaviest clip. And this is all right before the morning commute, right? So by the time we get to sunrise, which is closer to 8 o'clock, we already have 3-4 inches of snow on the ground. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot. It's just a short amount of time, which means that when city crews are out there trying to clean it up and you have rates at 1 inch per hour during this time frame, it's very hard to kind of get that snow up, get those roadways cleared off so you can head into work. So this is why we already see delays coming in and, of course, cancellations with us as we see this. As we go forward in the forecast, you'll notice that the snow becomes lighter as we get into the afternoon. I think we'll deal with more in the way of scattered showers then. How much snow? This is what we've been going pretty much, all week long. Thank you, Gia, for letting me know that the audio is good.
Yeah, my headphones are still connected. That's why I can't hear anything on my phone.
Okay, gotcha. Thanks, Gia. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing great. So I'm expecting 4 to 8 inches across the metro area. I think we'll see 1 to 4 north and south as far as snowfall totals. The highest snowfall totals over central Indiana. As far as Indianapolis, if you're concerned about Indianapolis specifically, I would say Indy's closer to that 4 or 5 inch range of snowfall overall. Now, this is our forecast. I know the range is wide. We normally don't go 4 to 8. That's a large range. The reason that we're doing that is because the rain that's mixing in and the mixing in that's happening on your Wednesday morning is going to impact some snowfall totals. So we're expecting that impact to put us closer to the 4, and areas of less impact, areas with the heavier bands and not seeing the mixing, we'll see closer to 8. So that's what we're kind of getting that those numbers from overall. And I've been kind of looking at several things over the last several hours, several models, and I kind of always like to break down what I know for sure, right? What I know for sure is that precipitation is sitting there. It's waiting for us. It's sitting near the Wichita, Oklahoma area right now. We have heavy rain in Memphis to St. Louis. It will move in. I also think it will move in as snow. We had 44 degrees today. We're still in the 40s. The temperature trend hasn't changed much. That cloud cover started to thicken as we hit the 40s, so that cloud cover is our blanket. When you put on a blanket, it keeps your temperature where you are, sometimes warms you up. That's what's happening. Our temperatures are remaining mild because of the blanket, the cloud cover that that moved in. It's going to take us a while to see those temperatures fall cold enough to where we see snow meet precipitation. So we're just kind of waiting on the timing of that. I believe that timing is around 2, 3, 4 a.m. In that range, the transition will happen. So those questions, will we actually see this? Yes. The question isn't will we see this? The question is when will we transition to all snow, and how long do we see that heavy clip of snow, which is the questions I've been trying to answer for you. As we look at the forecast here, I'm going to tell you that the heaviest impacts, the heaviest snow, happens tomorrow morning. So if your job has not canceled yet and they want you to come in tomorrow morning, you're going to need some extra time to get there. Absolutely, because tomorrow morning, during those morning commute hours, especially if you have to go to work at 5, 6 a.m., you're going to get in on easily several inches of snow that's on the ground, a slushy, wet snow that's very hard to get up, and pavement temperatures that are falling, which means bridges and overpasses will become slick first. So if you have to travel a long way, interstates, to get to work, then that's when you're really going to start to deal with some issues. Now, people have been talking about running out and getting bread and milk. I don't think that's necessary. Unless you need to go to the store, you don't need to run to the store unless you need something. This is not a snow event where you're going to be stuck in the house for a week. This is the kind of snow event that happens in the morning. We should be able to clean this up by afternoon. And by the evening hours, although roads are not perfect, they're passable. I think once we get into the evening hours, if you need to run to the store, I think you're A-okay to do so. We just want to keep you off the roads during the morning hours, the heaviest clip of snow, so the city crews can do their job. I don't think you'll have problems in the afternoon to evening hours, although that will be snow covered. So as far as running to the grocery store to get bread and milk, unless you need it, you're A-okay. If you can make it through the morning, you're just fine. And I think by afternoon, evening, we see improvement. So, and as far as the snow moving forward in this forecast, I'm most concerned about the morning commute, but beyond the morning commute, I think we'll see snow chances in this forecast every single day this week. Nothing as impactful as Wednesday's system, but you're going to see light snow to flurries on Wednesday, flurries on, Thursdays, flurries on Friday, Saturday, and even Sunday, seeing a mix of snow. So we've really settled into some pretty good winter weather to end here this final week of January, as we've been lacking on snow here in January. We talked early on about, if you've been watching Wish TV in the evening hours, I've been chatting for the last 24 days about how we're lacking on snow in January. We averaged 9 inches of snow in January. Up until Sunday, we had 0. Sunday, we picked up less than an inch. And now we're going to add at least 4 or 5 inches to the totals, which still puts us short for January snowfall totals, but it puts us closer to where we should be this time of year. If you're looking at for our snowfall total maps, there it is. I'm going to look at your comments. Michelle, thank you very much. Let's see. Sound is going down. Sound is going down. Is my sound going up and down? Doing well, thank you. Stay safe. Gia, hopefully the sound is not going in and out. That would explain some of the issues we're having.
Well, when I thought we had an audio issue, I turned that mic auxing up a little bit, but it was originally like at minus 30, so
Okay.
that I like to mitigate that ticking sound. But
Okay.
then I put it back to where it kind of
Gotcha.
was. So I don't know if
What you guys are hearing there, that's Stephen Deanna, our digital meteorologist. He's been kind of helping out as we go through this storm here. This is the alerts that you have. You probably already got these on your phone. Winter storm warnings and, of course, winter weather advisories that are out across the state. We see winter weather advisories from Chicago to South Bend. We see a winter storm warning for Indianapolis. The area in pink is the areas of greatest impact, right? That's the area where we'll see the most trouble traveling because you're going to deal with, of course, the heavy snow. You're going to deal with also, of course, damp roadways, gusty winds. We'll have it all in this location mainly tomorrow morning. Once again, improvement by afternoon. The area in purple, South Bend, Chicago, down to French Lick over to Evansville. This is the area we'll see less snow. Less snow and less of an impact. Travel not as hazardous, but still roads snow-covered and slick on Wednesday morning. Any questions that you have about this system that I can answer for you before we head out of here? Just going to try to take you through it one last time. This event starts as rain, initially running into drier air, then transitioning to kind of a heavier shower activity. This is 11, midnight, 1 a.m. But by the time we get to around 2, 3 a.m., we start to make that transition to snow. Once the snow moves in for us, it comes down very heavy and steady. I'm talking several hours of snow coming down at 1 inch per hour. That's going to put us down with some pretty decent totals by sunrise on Wednesday. This is the heaviest snow. You notice that because you see the deeper blues. Can you notice that the blue is a little darker in the location over central Indiana? That lets me know that the clip of snow is much heavier. That heavy snow continues as we go hour by hour. Once we get to late morning, early afternoon, we will see, I think, more in the way of mixing right along Interstate 70, right? Areas north of Interstate 70 seeing more snow, south of Interstate 70 seeing rain, along Interstate 70 seeing a wintry mix, which means we start to make that snow even more slushy. Stacy says, when will it eventually stop? The answer to that is it stays with us for much of the morning. By noon, this system starts to taper off. So the lunch hour, we start to see a very light snow that continues through about, I would say, 2, 3 p.m. I think this model was hanging on to snow longer because sometimes when we have a big snow event like this, you just continue to see flurries. I think anything after the noon hour isn't adding to our totals. I think it's just kind of pesky, annoying snow after the big snow event, no longer adding big numbers to the totals. I think we add to the totals between about 4 a.m. and about 9 a.m. And then after that, It's just kind of nuisance snow that will continue for much of the afternoon and probably into the evening as well, as we just kind of hang on. Sometimes it's hard to wring out that lingering moisture, and I think we have it for much of Wednesday evening. But once again, I don't think it does much damage. I don't think it adds up to the totals. Thank you, Stacy, for your question. Any other questions here about this system that I can answer for you in the next 5 minutes or so before we kind of close out this Facebook Live? If you're wondering about the temperature right now, it is an issue. We are warmer than expected, which means that transition to rain is going to take longer than expected. So I'm expecting us to transition, and I've been saying this pretty much since we started talking about this system, that the transition happens very early on Wednesday morning. Tonight, I think we initially get in on some pretty good rain that will fall over the area, dampen the roadways. Pavement temperatures should be fairly warm initially for the snow. So you'll get a lot of melting at first as well, and it's going to make it very hard to measure this snow event. But as far as snowfall totals, we haven't changed our totals at all. We've been right here, kind of holding steady with our 4 to 8 across the metro area. And the reason that range is so large is because the rain mixing in will impact the forecast. In the areas that will not see the mixing, it can be counties. So it can be Marion County that we end up with 4 or 5 inches of snow with some mixing, and counties as close as Hamilton County end up with no mixing. You see all snow as you're a little bit further north, and you end up with 6, 7 inches of snow. It could be that much of a difference from county to county based on the mixing of rain, and I think that's what it's going to be. I think it's going to, you're going to look around. You're going to have one county at 4, one county at 5, one county at 8, and some locations at 9. I think it's going to be one of those snow events where numbers are all over the place, which is why our range seems to be all over the place, where we're trying to tackle, a large state and put it in a very small range, and that's why we get those totals. Any other questions? Current conditions: 40s, air is dry, greatest precipitation chance for heavy snow happens for us Wednesday morning with heavy snow, low visibility. As far as the wind is concerned, it's not as gusty as the storm we had in December. Stephen, when was that storm in December?
December 23rd, basically. That was it started late December, the second half of December 22nd, and carried through into Christmas Eve, basically.
All right, so Stephen's talking about the snow event when we had very cold air and playing gusty winds. Stephen remembers everything. I'm pregnant. I remember nothing.
That was horrible.
I remember nothing about any storm anymore.
That was a horrible storm.
So it's going to be different because the winds are not as gusty. I think we'll still get some blowing and drifting, but it will not be a big snow event that I'm expecting, with blowing and drifting all over the place for hours and hours. All right, so thank you for joining us for this Facebook Live. I'm always here on Facebook if you want to ask any questions. I got you right here. I'm here all night just kind of tracking this system and looking at the temperature trend, waiting for numbers to drop. So if you have any questions, I'm here. We'll kind of take you through the storm, and tomorrow morning Marcus Bailey and Stephanie Mead to take you through the storm as well. For me, Ashley, and Stephen over here, have a good night, and we'll talk to you later. I forgot how to end this thing.
Bottom left.
End video. That works.